Today is the 22nd of September. We're going to go over some news of Flat Earth news. So today is going to be a day of looking at how bizarre and how ridiculous the news is when it comes to exploring space, specifically with NASA, and the fear-mongering that is now taking place. There's a campaign now to actually make you more in a state of fear when it comes to space by using things like asteroids are going to, hit stuff like that. So, and we're at a very fragile point in the mentality of the consciousness of humanity, because this truth is coming out, and this truth is like the glue that holds this whole world together. And this world has a lot of issues, and if this consciousness keeps on creeping out and more people start to wake up, then basically the stock markets, everything, history will have to be rewritten. Things will, science books, what are science books now, after this happens, it's everything will be rewritten, things will happen, and chaos will ensue, definitely. Entities will try to strive for power, and maybe conflicts will happen, and that will include people being armed and a lot of deaths, things like that could happen. I don't think it would be peaceful, because you're talking about the world being flat, and most people, 96% of the people, don't really even think about it and think about the nature of what we're talking about here, because what they think is like, oh, then everyone would have to be in on it. No, everyone wouldn't have to be in on it. It's just everyone's indoctrinated into the mindset that it's real at an early age, when you're very, very young. And everyone is. That's how the program works. That's how the people who run the world set it up, and they took it over with their money, when they started using paper money, so they could actually print money and say that it's actually backed by gold or silver, and it's not. It's just them giving you the impression that it is by saying, oh, well, we have Fort Knox, we have all of these reserves, the Federal Reserve. That means, oh, we have a bunch of reserve. And they don't have not even 5%, not even that, of how much money they've printed, and it's all a fraud. It's all a fraud. So science is a fraud. Money system is a fraud. So let's get into some of the news. And so, like I've said in a lot of my other videos, is that Flat Earth is kind of the adhesion, the glue to this whole fraud system that they've managed to create, and basically brainwash the people for the last 400 or 500 years or so. And it's escalated over the past 150 years, definitely, consolidated a lot of the history, and they rewrote history, and they put it in the schools. So, well, anyway, I don't know. There's kind of like a typhoon hitting Korea where I live. So let's see here. So let's just go to NASA News. So, wow, what do you know? Asteroid alert. NASA tracks a large flying rock toward Earth at 18,000 miles an hour. Will it hit? NASA's troubled next generation rocket is finally assembled. How many times have they made a rocket? Oh, it's the best rocket. We're putting it into orbit. And it had some delay and it never happened, things of that nature. Huge asteroid that narrowly missed Earth slipped through the net, NASA emails reveal. So every day it's a new story about how an asteroid almost hit, will hit. So they've been telling, in this article too, they've been telling the people that, well, we'll go to the moon, and by 2015, Bush was saying, back in the early 2000, 2003, 2004, we'll put a man on the moon by 2009. It's just, every year, every president, to Obama, we will put a man on the moon by the end of, however long. Every president has been saying that, but none of them have actually done it. And funny enough, it's not an issue with money. There's Trump gave, supposedly, it's all a show though, but Trump even told NASA they have an unlimited budget for space travel, which is fraud. So here we have a pretty, this is fake, definitely. Even says artist's illustration of a moon lander capable of ferrying humans to the lunar surface. So this is definitely a fake image. But a lot of people would probably believe this is real if there was no caption here telling it was fake, or if there's no wording here. So if you're skeptical that NASA could put boots on the moon by 2024, you're not alone. During a hearing of the Space Subcommittee, and blah blah blah, they were asked how confident he was that NASA would meet the 2024 target. I wouldn't bet my oldest child's upcoming birthday present. So all of this stuff is fake. NASA is an entity that is intertwined with other space entities like the JAXA, in Japan, or in India, or China. They're all the same basic entity. They just kind of have different names. Different people actually work for different ones, but they all work together though. So it's basically the same thing. So this is all sickening. Basically, it really makes no sense at all to anyone with a rational mind that's capable of seeing through the brainwashing system that they have. And it's hard to get away from brainwashing people. It is hard. Being psychologically conditioned it's scary. This is scary for a lot of people. And living in a fantasy is easy. Trust me, I wish I couldn't, have all this stuff happen, do all this stuff. I wish I couldn't, I wish I didn't have to do all this. But something in me wants me to do it, and I do it, you know, for a little part of my week. I research the stuff. I watch videos. I've been doing this for, you know, a couple months, basically, making some of these little videos and posting videos. And I've been researching, you know, flat Earth for a couple of years. When I first saw flat Earth in a video, this guy was talking about it, and he was telling us all this stuff. I had my awakening moment, and it was with a guy named Dave Murphy. You can see one of his compilation videos on my channel that I made, and it's called like the top 10 takedowns of Dave Murphy. He has a channel, I believe, Allegedly Dave, and he's the guy that woke me up. So here's another one. NASA news. What is this giant black hole on Jupiter? Juno cams snap stunning pictures. So Juno is a spacecraft that's currently, I guess, orbiting Jupiter, or had a flyby. And here we have a picture. Let's see here. This is an image of a giant black hole cropping up on the surface. So there's supposedly a black hole on Jupiter. So, I mean, if you can believe all this stuff, every day, mostly every day, but every week for sure, there's something new, something that gives the impression that there's something to be heard about, seen about in space, something exciting to get people motivated to research and to look at this, because I mean, it'd be interesting if it was real, but it's not. So here's a video, apparently the Great Red Spot. So my electricity's going out. Anyway, NASA's spacecraft snapped this stunning portrait of Jupiter during one of its closest flybys of the gas giant. The flyby, or perijove, if I say that right, was a 20-second close brush with the planet that took place on September 11th this year. NASA's Juno performs frequent dives towards Jupiter. So Jupiter is a gas giant, supposedly. So, and there's a large red spot, supposedly of a storm. And you know, we can only see one side of Jupiter most of the time, unless there's a fake image. But people think it's real, though. So here's Jupiter. So here's Jupiter. And there's a black hole. They just put like a little black hole there. The image were snapped by NASA Juno spacecraft. So supposedly, all of a sudden, there's just a black hole that arrives on Jupiter. You know, and if you believe that the new Saturn photo, then I'm sorry. If you believe this black hole they just found on the surface, and I'm sorry. This is all nonsense, fakery. The dark spot is a solar eclipse of the Galilean moon Io. So apparently Io was having an eclipse, and that was what it was. For those who have contributed, thank you. Your labors of love have illustrated articles about Juno, Jupiter, and JunoCam. Once the mission comes to an end, NASA will deorbit the spacecraft to burn up in Jupiter's orbit. So Juno's been it's been around Jupiter for over 3 years. It's 2019 now, so 3 years. And that's enough of that. Let's find another entertainment news story. And strange magnetic pulses that happen at midnight detected on Mars. So a lot of you might know that Mars is actually not real, like I've stated many times before probably, and it's been stated in some of my videos that no planets are real, that they're not physical entities. They're just sonoluminescent beings in the firmament. So here we have a magnetic pulse that happen at midnight detected on Mars. So magnetic pulses that happen at midnight detected on Mars. So we have a NASA robot on Mars sends back unusual findings, including timed magnetic pulses. So we have a pulse supposedly. So the what I like to say universe. People might think of universe as being the stars and the planets and the outer, the outer space fantasy tale that they give you. NASA gives to you. But NASA has an issue with a lot of things, and this is one of them. How easy it is just to go on news and just debunk this stuff, and how easy it is to look at photos of where exactly they did shoot a lot of the Mars footage, and it's pretty clear that it was not actually on a different planet. There's basically proven videos and photos of places that they went up in the north near the Arctic, where they did shoot the footage for the Mars videos. So the InSight lander, a robot designed to study the deep insides of Mars, taking its vital signs, has sent back a wealth of information. Within the preliminary findings is evidence of a strange magnetic pulse, sometimes emanating from the planet precisely at midnight. So precisely at midnight, there's magnetic pulses going. So here we have a phenomenon that raised the attention of scientists poring over the data. What's unusual about this occasional magnetic pulse or wobbling is that it happens at a time when such events would be unlikely on Earth. Oh my God, give me a break. People, wake up. Data from the lander shows that the crust of the planet is much more magnetic than predicted. 10 times more than Earth. Mars' magnetosphere extends 60 to 250 miles above. Also found out the lander. So they found out that there is a magnetosphere that extends 60 to 250 miles around Mars. Earth has supposedly a electromagnetic sphere we call the Van Allen radiation belts, which they keep on finding new stuff about. There's one, and then there's two, and then I guess there's like three. Those extend, thousands of miles, and above our atmosphere, supposedly. So, Elon Musk reveals plan to put 1 million people on Mars. Big think. So don't get fooled by any of that nonsense. And so then we have these truths hidden in. Okay, yes, they probably are going to hire data scientists, but they pour over just it's nonsense data that they've accumulated, and they've put in just examining the firmament and the anomalies and the data of light and sound within our firmament. A sneaky asteroid narrowly missed Earth, so yeah, we went over that. So there's always going to be something going around, you know, our Earth missing us, moon landing not happening, or space orbiter that's going to be pushed back, and Australia will help NASA go to the moon and Mars. Didn't we go to the moon 50 years ago? Australia will help. So now we need Australia's help. We can't go to the moon with now. I guess we need by ourselves. We need Australia. So Australia, see, they're all the same thing though. It's all a show. NASA orbiter fails to spot Indian probe on the lunar surface. So with all of our technology, we cannot spot something on the moon. Just like no one can spot any evidence of the moon landings in the 60s and 70s with the telescope. That has actually proven it on a video online. NASA reveals new gateway logo for Artemis lunar orbit. So gateway, we got the pyramid here, all based on esoteric and a lot of hidden knowledge that the secret societies that run the show, they put out for the masses to believe. So gateway, here we have the stars, 6 stars, red shifting to the right, red shift, blue shift, red and blue and white, pulsating white light, red and blue. This is kind of the Tor right here, kind of like the McDonald's sign right here, like one of the signs. And so 2 of the pyramids, and so yeah, always you gotta have some sort of symbology like that. And so the gateway is intended to serve as a way station between Earth, lunar orbit, and the moon's surface. The human-tended spacecraft will be a docking port for Orion spacecraft arriving from and returning to Earth, as well as a rendezvous point for lunar modules ascending from the moon. So we have another fake mission gateway program. So they're going to build another space station around the moon. This is total nonsense. Here's a logo. They're always doing something. This guy, NASA's chief, stresses lunar gateway. 6 white stars. They always have to have the 6. 69, 6, 72, 9. Oval-shaped emblem is complete with the word gateway stylized in white, except for the first A, which is highlighted in red, signifying the gateway's role in the Artemis program. The gateway logo was revealed in conjunction with a new internal website. Wow. Sounds real to me. Since we can't even get back to the moon, supposedly we're just gonna keep on orbiting it. You know, we've been to Pluto, but we gotta orbit the moon again, and have a place for another Another rover. We need to send another rover. India's Chandrayaan-2 marks 60 years of moon crashes. No, it marks 60 years of nonsense. You know, people, these are all just words. They're just words. It's just magic. It's just spells. It's just wizardry. This is all just words and people to back it up. And gadgets and gizmos, fake science, stuff like that to basically fool you. It's a science that the rulers that did this, you know, it's a science for them. You know, you could easily write a science book on how to fool people with this stuff. And, well, you could write a book. And science is actually what they made to explain this stuff, which is just a word. Science is just a word. You know, it's a religion. It's a religion. It's a way of indoctrinating people into a form of thinking, just like religion is. Religion is a way of indoctrinating people into a way of thinking. By a young age, you know, you're probably, if you're an American, definitely, you're probably some sort of religion, in some sort of religion. You're probably a Christian, and you believe there's a big giant ball that you in space that's called the sun, and also there's another big sphere in space called the moon, and those are coincidentally the same size in the firmament. I wonder how that happened, but science can't explain it, so I guess it's not real if science can't explain it. Can science explain how my dog saw the dragonfly buzzing around his head, and he went into a circle? He kept on running into a circle just to try to catch it. Can science explain that? Is there a name for that? Hosophety? Is it Mojophaty? Crotophaty? Is that crotophaty? No, it's just, it is. It is what it is. It just works that way. Dogs are curious. There is buoyancy, there is density. We have a name, we just put a label on it. It's just what it is. It's not gravity, and everything is surrounded by gravity. So, NASA news. Hubble telescope snaps not-so-dead galaxy 2.6 million light-years from Earth. So what they're seeing in here is just a bunch of lights given off by the firmament, and they zoom in on something, and then their supposed science is just a bunch of nonsense. Tells them supposedly that this is 2.6 million light years from Earth, even though they can't accurately measure something that's 5 or 6 light years away. But they know this is 2.6 million light years from Earth, probably approximately. Could be 1 light year from Earth maybe, or 2 billion light years, but approximately 2.6 million light years. NASA SpaceX coverage of first Crew Dragon test flight wins Emmy. So here we have it. Emmy, what do you know? It's all a show, people. Emmy, this is all a big show. Everything that they do is a show, so they won an Emmy for it. Emmy is a award that you get if you have a television show. So this is a television show, basically, computer show, interactive program. NASA and SpaceX, the interactive demo won launch. Emmy. Ooh, we just won an Emmy for DM1. For thanks to my NASA and SpaceX family, unreal. Wee, Dan Huot. We just won an Emmy for DM1. I'm gonna go and tell everyone about it now. That we just won an Emmy. Whoa! Yay, our television show. So SpaceX launched the first Crew Dragon on March 2nd with the spacecraft docking itself at the orbiting laboratory a day later. So NASA and SpaceX, same thing. Throughout NASA's coverage, the agency and SpaceX engaged social media users around the world and a local social media influencer gathering at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida. Wow, people, come on. Space shows, they get Emmys now. It's because it's fake. Just like the television show Friends, I think they won an Emmy. I think, you know, I'm pretty sure that it wasn't actually real, was it? No, it's not real. NASA News, why is the Martian rock blue? Blah, 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 blah. Because it's fake. NASA newly discovered asteroid named after Egyptian Farouk El-Baz. NASA, what is this dandelion flower on Mars? So now Mars has polar ice caps. So, let's see here. Let's look at this video. NASA spacecraft took this black and white image of Mars from orbit on July 21st, 2019. Astronomers from the University of Arizona have now singled it out for featuring what appears to be a large dandelion flower. Yeah, bull snake. Bull snakies. People, wake up. Wake up. So here we have the polar ice caps on Mars.
Face Shield by Lenovo. End-to-end security designed to give your business...
So let's go back. So let's forget that. So NASA catches tropical storm Tapa by the tail. So actually, I'm getting some of Tapa right now. If anyone can hear the rain in the background, it's raining here, and so tropical storm Tapa has a huge tail on NASA satellite imagery. NASA's Terra satellite captured an image of the Northwest Pacific. So what they do here, yeah, it's like a rotating balloon that kind of goes up around on top of this this realm. So they have a footage that they call a satellite. It's just on a balloon, and they go up high, and then they can see stuff sometimes. But this is probably just a fake image. They just superimpose the image on it, they clean it up maybe. So it's not 100% real probably. 2 asteroids will harmlessly fly by the Earth this weekend, but NASA will wave hello anyway. So we're constantly, like I said before, we're constantly getting fear-mongered by all this stuff. Okay, so new House bill includes no extra allowance for NASA, threatening to 2024 moon program. So Trump actually, like I said, Trump actually told them they would have a unlimited budget just to go back and to the moon and go to Mars. So, yeah. It's all a show. ESA turns to NASA to assist in crucial ExoMars parachute test. So this is probably true. They're probably going to have a parachute test. See, have truce, people. Brad Pitt's space epic Ad Astra sets new standard for sci-fi films, ex-NASA engineer says. So it's always they're always promoting. So it's always the new movie, you know, that has NASA in it. It's always the best movie. They always have scientists on to tell you how it's real and how it's not, like they did with Interstellar. You know, Kip Thorne, the Caltech, physicist. He told you what's real and what's not. You have Neil deGrasse Tyson telling you what's real, what's not. All these scientists that will go in and chime in on the movie, promote it and say it's really good too. You better watch it. You'll be smart. You'll understand space more. But it's not real. It's fake. Get it through your head. How SpaceX CEO sent surprise to NASA's International Space Center. Haha. So entertainment. So that's gonna be it for news right now. This segment of Expose Antarctica news, Flat Earth news is over. That's long enough. Subscribe to my videos, please, and be sure to promote Flat Earth. Mirror any videos, Flat Earth. Tell your friends, your family. They might tell you that you're weird, but it's okay. Oh my god, look at this one. Before I leave, NASA's 30 billion moon return mission explained. Oh my god, it's they'll tell you they're going, then they'll tell you they can't go. My god. People, I know this is 100% fake. I know. High level Masons, they've shown it. It's fake. They've said it's fake. It's all science that they perfected hundreds of years ago. They perfected this stuff. They know that there is no space. People, it's not real. There's no space. Firmament above us. Okay? Firmament above. Lights. Kind of like the light you turn on in your kitchen. Sound. Creating different light. Color. So if you take a prism and you shine a white light through the prism, you get, what, 7 different colors. Kind of like, oh, coincidentally, the seven different wandering stars that we have in our firmament that we like to call planets or planetes. So, plane, it's in the word, plane, because we're on a plane. They're plane entities. They just add a T to either signify energy or some sort of symbol they use, I believe, to signify a shift of energy in their spelling, their spells that they use with their language, like English. If you want to call it a language, it's more like a language of the angels, you can say. It's English, and it's more to symbolize a shift in energy into some sort of magic that they use and they harvest somehow. The moon is somehow, it was put up there somehow, possibly. No one knows for sure. I haven't really found out. I don't think I will ever find out an answer about the moon. Some people say it's a energy harvester. Some say it's a place where people are being born and it's a battery cell, and it's a negative energy, and the sun's a positive, and they both cancel each other out, which kind of makes sense. There's a yin and a yang to everything. So there's a lot of different theories about what the moon is. Some people say it could be like a reptilian, and some sort of lights. Some people say it was, it could be a fake moon, and it was just put up by some organization. It's up there still. They've perfected the science of putting a light object in the sky, having it rotate. So yeah, I said I was leaving, but right now I'm gonna go on more about the moon. Let's see here. The moon is interesting. The moon, energy harvester. So let's get more specific. Reptilian. So as you see here, how souls are recycled as energy. So this is kind of it's a cool website. I like the websites that actually have like just information. It's there to actually tell you what is actually what is actually there, and it's not so focused on the design of the website looking cool. It just wants to show you the information. So here we have soul recycling. So we have the moon. Let's see. Let's go into the moon. So the moon and lunar symbolism in myths, logos, music videos, lyrics, and movies. So we have Superman, Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, like I was saying. The prism, white light, 7 lights of the rainbow. Look at him. He's heading for that small moon. That's no moon. It's a space station. We're caught in a tractor beam and it's pulling us in. DreamWorks, moon fishing, and Miller High Life siren symbolism. So this is all symbolism of the moon. And before you die, you see. So we have the ring, which is kind of like the moon. Before you die, you see the eclipse in the dark of the moon. So we could just be just an energy that is being kind of used by the moon to power this place. So the only reason why we could be here is because of the moon, in a way. And the light of the sun kind of powers it, the whole thing. And we as humans are powered by the moon. We could just be moon beings. So here we have different books and stuff. So Thoth, the trickster god and god of thieves, transporter of souls, and conductor of spirits. So let's learn about Thoth really fast. The Egyptian moon god was Thoth or Tot. His name has various pronunciations, all very revealing. As his name implies, he was wise and full of thought as he taught man many things. So Thoth comes from Thoth, the moon god. However, the name is usually pronounced with a long O. For instance, Thoth is pronounced as Tot, kind of like an O. That's long, as it in to pull or haul something. This is interesting, for he was known for the following titles: the escort of souls in the afterlife, the transporter of souls, and the conductor of spirits from this world to the next. It is even more disturbing to discover that the moon god, also known as the trickster god and the god of thieves, he carried a scepter or staff called a jid pillar or a jid column, which was often spoken in terms of flow of electromagnetic energies. Could this pillar be of the dead, or a pillar of the dead? Could this tower be a tower of souls? That is a pole that pulls or tows souls. So Thoth was depicted as an ibis, or a gar-like bird with a long, narrow beak. As a thief, the first thing he saw was a tortoise. He promptly took the shells of this creature and created a lyre, a lyre or a lyre. He is thus credited with creating the first musical instrument. He then stole some cattle. As the creator god, he laid the world egg. Thoth is quite possibly the origin for the story of the ibis that delivers a newborn baby. In fact, the book or soul in Egypt was referred to as a ba. It is why when a newborn ba wants to be, why we call it a baby or a babe, maybe. He is credited with writing the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. This writing is a blatant attempt at convincing the reader to go to the light, as this excerpt demonstrates. Mighty spirit of light that shines through the cosmos, draw my flame closer in harmony to thee. Light up my fire from out of the darkness, magnet of fire that is one with the all. Lift up my soul, though might impotent. Child of the light, turn not away. Draw me in power to melt in thy furnace. One with all things and all things in one. Fire of the life strain and one with the brain. Showed he all to all men the path of attainment. Way of the light that flows among men. Mastering darkness, leading the man's soul upward to heights that were one with the light. So that was the Egyptian god of the moon, Thoth. Thoth or Thoth. Thoth. So here we have light harvesting, go to the light. Some people believe that actually do not go to the light is actually a good thing, because then your soul will be harvested again and you'll be reincarnated and you'll have to live your life over again and over and over again. So you want to actually get away from the soul trap, which is a good thing for some people. I really haven't researched it enough. And even if I have researched it enough, I really couldn't tell you to go to the light or not go to the light. I've always experienced light as a good thing. Darkness is bad, light is good. So I guess I'm indoctrinated into that. Diana, goddess of the hunt. So in Greece, the moon was known as Diana, who was the goddess of the hunt, or the huntress. In most Roman art, Diana is depicted beside a stag or a buck, her favorite game. Horned animals are reminiscent of the sickle moon. Diana, too, is often seen as an enchantress, the queen of magic. Aradia, Gospel of the Witches by Charles Leland, contains many incantations for invoking the magic of Diana. In Greece, Diana was known as Artemis, the queen of the bow. According to Gwydion O'Hara's moon lore, Artemis, the divine archer, was a dark goddess who demanded human sacrifice. Patroness of childbirth, huntress and mistress of enchantment and sorcery, Diana was also the goddess of the nymph and virgins. Aphrodite, goddess of love and desire. Aphrodite, known as to the Romans as Venus, was also associated with the moon and with nymphs. So Aphrodite, Isis, definitely a moon god. Hecate, originally the consort of Zeus, who came to be associated with magic, witchcraft, murder, crossroads, tombs, dogs, hell, and fate. It is interesting that a modern-day corporation would choose the dark goddess of witchcraft, Hecate, to represent the name of one of their lines of beer. So we have Hecate is a beer brand, Holda, hell. In German, she is Dame Holda, so she was a moon goddess. So we have a lot of moon gods, definitely. So the moon could be a recycling center, and if you go into the moon, you could be going into the light after death, and you could be, or you could be here, the moon as the door to the eternal world. The idea of the moon as a door opening onto the next or further world is widespread in the moon, and then the moon becomes a dividing line between the temporal world or of becoming and the eternal world of being, serving as a place of transition between the two. So this could be a doorway, the moon. Really, the moon is the door of Svarja world. Now, if a man objects to the moon sets him free. But if a man does not object, then the moon sends him down as rain upon the earth. So this is what I was saying before, that if you accept the moon, then you go back into this reality. But if the man does not object, like I was saying, if the man accepts the moon, he comes down here. If the man objects to the moon sets him free. So you could be free as a soul, transitioning, and you could be set free here on this planet, or like I was saying, plane. You are not free. Your soul here is very controlled. The Roman Litus describes Praetextus, the Hierophant, as saying that Janus sends us the diviner souls to the lunar throng. Janus, or Enos, the god with two faces, was the guardian of the door, who gave his name to January, the month that faces both ways. His name comes from Aianua, a door or entrance gate that has two sides, and is also the masculine form of the Roman moon goddess Diana. She who was the gateway to life and death. Some Buddhist temples, as some English gardens, have moon doors or moon gates as thresholds of initiation from one reality to another. This places the moon as a mediator between earth and sun, not just receiving but regenerating the souls of the dead so that they can continue to their journey to the sun. Plutarch, in his dialogue concerning the face which appears in the orb of the moon, concludes with a story about the model in Timaeus. By a stranger from a place no one knows. The stranger gave the tale of Sula, the last of the speakers, who passes on the idea that the moon should be especially honored because it is the home of the souls of the just, who go there to be purified before going to the sun. The moon is also the home of souls that have not been born. Wow. So here we have different theories about the moon. So the moon can also be a gate, door to the eternal world. Janus, with the god with two faces, was the guardian of the door, and it comes from January, like I was saying. The moon and music, dark side of the moon. So here we have some music, Led Zeppelin, or some Pink Floyd here. Moon Rover, Soul Catcher and Retriever, The Doors, Moonlight Drive. So here we have it in pop culture, moon. So we have the sun and the moon, We have the gecko, moon, all these different trademarks. So here we have Truman's Show, the Lunar Control Center. So the Lunar Control Center was used as a place where the people that were controlling Truman, that was the command center where Ed Harris controlled all the actors that were down below, which could symbolize how our plane is operated, or our realm is operated. There could be a control center on the moon, kind of like how the Truman Show depicted. So our real energies that have manifested here could be there, and our controllers could be on the moon. The ring, before you die you see. So before you die you could see the moon, or you could have actually visions and premonition, consciousness on the moon, which I have actually had. when you're in a dream state and you think that you are not here, but you're not in a dream state, you could actually think you're on the moon for some reason. I thought I was on the moon. I thought I was getting my energy sent down from the moon here. A lot of people, when they do a lot of out-of-body experience work, so when they leave their body at night, when they have OBEs, they can actually see their body and they can travel around and sort of do a lot of astral traveling, and they can go up to the moon. They can see the energy centers there, what's happening, and the sun. They can actually see what's happening as the world around them unfolds while they're asleep. So the moon shard, moon tower. So all this stuff is actually a good way to think about how our realm here is being operated by, and what the moon actually is. So just see this. This is not the only answers. Definitely, these answers could just be the answers that the people that gave us Flat Earth gave us. Who knows? This is just what we know now. This is what I think now is happening. So to close it off, we got the Egyptian god Peter, right here, Peter, and maybe Utah as well, Ptah. So along with Thoth, who was depicted as an ibis, laid the world egg. Could there have been an ibis named Iblis peeping his way out of the abyss? Ptah is likely related to the Latin word for father, pater. And so it's kind of related to pater, Peter. Like I said, this is also the root for the words petra, which is rock, petrol, which is fuel. And interestingly, the New Testament records Jesus as appointing Peter as the father of the church. You are Peter, and upon this rock I build you my church. So Peter, very prominent. Peter Pan had the body of a goat, and as a pipe, like Satan had the body of a goat, and as the piper played music on his panpipes, Pied Piper, Stairway from Zeppelin had Piper. All these references to Satan, Peter Pan. What did Peter Pan play? The pipes, like I said. Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band. Lear on the Moon. Richard Hoagland led me to this because when I saw his tape about the Earth-Moon-Mars connection, talked about the Lunar Orbiter 384M photos showing the tower on the moon. So, who knows? The moon tower. So here we have comments. So Thoth is creator god, yet he sneaks around ripping shells of tortoises and stealing cows. Screw these jackwads. I got no time for ridiculous children's stories. He isn't a god at all. He's a murdering, animal-killing, evil entity. A hollow point to that bird head of his should do the trick. That's one thing I continually see miss all the impressive information gathering. The killing of animals and consuming of flesh. The true creator told us to take care of animals, not herd them into cages and eat them. All meat eating in the Bible was intentionally reserved by Masoretic scribes. So, fruit veggies give your body everything it needs and much be better quality and won't kill you. Perhaps this is the one thing that's so accepted and never challenged by any end of the spectrum that will truly separate the remnant from the past. I do agree with this. Like I was saying, some of the Masonic scribes could have been altering some of this information, definitely. But for consciousness now, what I'm thinking of is that yeah, it could be some sort of energy harvesting place, though. I don't actually agree with all these. But this is what we have now. A lot of people do believe. So there's some information about the moon. I'm gonna go. Just a little longer than I expected. If you're still listening to this, then subscribe, and please give this a thumbs up and comment below, and tell your friends about Flat Earth. Tell your friends about how space is actually fake. You know, you don't even have to mention the word Flat Earth. Just say space is fake. NASA's all a bunch of lying retards, and the Masons are getting away with this. And try to open your third eye, man. Open your third eye, man. Alright, see you later. Have a good day. Namaste.